different view. I'd like to congratulate Democrats for ridding yourselves of this untalented mediocrity. I mean, this is the most self-aggrandizing liar that has ever held this job. The White House press secretary is a sacred position, and she stood up there for years and lied through her teeth to the American people.
My friend,
and
she's not the first.
She is the literal worst White House press secretary in my lifetime. And what she did in the last year and a half of the Biden administration, cheap fakes, the entire cover-up around the president's mental faculties, she was in the center of it.
So you think she's doing this to launder herself?
So congratulations for getting rid of this, but Democrats deserve everything they're getting here for putting her in that job.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Breaking news, everybody. You just can't make this up. But, you know, I know this won't surprise people. It won't. Guess who has left the Democrat Party? The big binder. Oh, the big binder. She's an independent now. After the lies, the cover-up, the biggest scandal in American history. Now she's profiting off the lies and the cover-up. Just can't make this up, family. I hope everybody that is tuned in right now, that you're smiling, that you're blessed, that you're well, that you're healthy. I love you guys, man. It's one love to the human race. And we've been calling this out, man. You know, they dragged us through the mud. I'm to find out we've been right about damn near everything. Conspiracy theorists, conspiracy facts. You know, what a disgrace, man. What a disgrace. The big binder. They should have walked out in handcuffs long time ago. And now she's making a profit, huh? People laughing and smiling going to the bank.
It would seem that people in this White House knew that President Biden was slipping, and it was hidden from the American people. So who ordered White House officials to cover up a declining president?
I know that that is a narrative that you love, and
Well,
wait,
in 10 days,
hold on.
he did a press conference
Hold
at NATO.
Hold
I'm
on.
in it. There's all these things that I
Hold
need
on.
to finish. And then 10 days later, I'm dropping out.
Okay, okay, you're asking me like multiple questions here. Let me, wait. First of all, there's been no cover-up. I want to be very clear about that. I know that's the narrative that you all want. Wait, no, you can't even. Okay.
I've been with President Biden for 5 years.
Are you going to let me answer the question?
Would you at least admit that the debate was not just a bad night?
wait, can I answer the question?
Yes.
All right, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Your first question, it is not a cover-up. I know that is the narrative that you all want. It is not. I'm going to say this again, and you're going to hear directly from the president. I hope you listen tonight. I think it's going to be incredibly powerful and important. The Oval Office, presidents, as you know, when they make speeches from the Oval Office, it's because there are important moments that they want to directly make sure that the American people hear from them. And it's obviously going to be done in prime time. I would listen to the president. And then what I will say is that it is not easy making a decision that the president made on Sunday.
We'd have to, just go back in time, Yeah. But breaking news, former White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, KJP, said she's leaving the Democrat Party, announced her new tell on her book about the Biden administration. Yeah. She tells it all in her book. She stood as an official spokesman for the White House and lied for years to the American people about Biden's health and mental decline. She was in on the cover-up. Now she's trying to profit off her lies. You just can't make this up. So let's be clear. KJP is blatantly lying about leaving the Democratic Party to sell copies of her new book. Labeled an independent, she is lying. Liberal propagandist. Piece of for the Democratic Party for her entire life. Yeah. You know. Says just in, after spending years lying and covering up Biden's cognitive decline, KJP announced she's leaving the Democratic Party. Someone will say, why would you ask? Because she's writing a tell-all book profiting off the cover-up. She is trash and should be in a jail cell. Check this beautiful clip out. You know, you just can't make it up.
It would be wrong to think that the border is open economically, and we are in a strong, we are stronger economically than we have been in history. What we saw on January 6th was the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
You just can't make that up, man. Yeah, what we have now is a night and day difference, a complete upgrade, man. You know, this really took place, though, y'all. You know,
New for you on that. I think it's been a couple of days since we have been asked that question. Okay. I don't have anything new.
Oh my. Oh my goodness. How you the press secretary and don't got nothing to say to the press? These people don't know what they doing, don't know what they talking about, don't know what they. So what plans do y'all have? Let me see real quick. Hold on, let me find the plan. So what had happened, you know what, well, we don't have no plans right now. What kind of answer is that?
just can't make it up.
And I'm not just laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact that I look just like her.
I tell you, Terrence is something else, man. You just can't make it up, y'all. But here it is right here. You know, has now left the Democrat Party and selling a book that probably no one will buy, huh? You know, we'll see what one of those experts, we know one of the experts are going to come out and buy the book, and, you know, we'll see what it says after that, huh?
Hi, I'm Karine Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book, coming out of the White House, you know, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karine, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy? How do we? This has to just be, you know, one of those, you know, sound bites, talking points to promote the book. Nobody comes up to her, I promise you. You know, she probably gets some things that she doesn't, you know. Yeah, she's probably heard and had people come up to her say things that she don't want to repeat on camera. I promise you that. You know, these are just one of those sound bites they do for the book, you know, promotion, the promo. Protect vulnerable communities among us. What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this is my answer. Probably ask you, where's the binder? Why did you lie? How's Biden doing? That's probably what they ask her. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressive
and cheap fakes, don't forget cheap fakes.
Of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you.
He said, here's the truth. Uh-oh. The truth.
I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to and vulnerable communities that I respect, I will be there with you. I will move forward with you. And that is, I think, so important. So this book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st.
What a soundbite. What a soundbite. Independent, y'all. Leaving the Democrat Party, trying to make a profit promoting her book. You know. What a disgrace, man. Just last July, she said Biden was as sharp as ever.
He is as sharp as ever, as I have known him to be in my engagement, in my experience with him. He's
as sharp as ever. He is as sharp as ever. After being the biggest lying press secretary in U.S. history, KJP leaves the Democrat Party and registers as an independent. What a joke. You just can't make it up. You know? Just can't make it up. What do y'all think of this? Let me know in the comment section, man. Former press secretary reveals her own tell-all book about the Biden White House. Reveals she is switching parties. Wow. Out grifting Jake Tapper is an impressive accomplishment. Out grifting Jake Tapper is an impressive accomplishment. Man. Reveals she is now coming out as an independent in her new book. In a hard-hitting yet hopeful critique, KJP defines what it means to be a part of the growing percentage of our fractured electorate that is an independent. Back in February, she hinted toward the upcoming move by ripping the Democrat Party for turning on Biden. Check this out, man.
Personally, I think what was the toughest thing to see in the 3 weeks was there was a disconnect for me. What was happening with leadership in the Democratic Party and how it was truly, as my former colleague, communications director Ben LeBolt said, it was a firing squad. And I had never seen anything like it before. I'd never seen a party do that in the way that they did. And it was hurtful and sad to see that happening. A firing squad around a person who I believe was a true patriot, a person who I believe did everything that he can for this country, a person who I believe, as I mentioned before, has done more in one term than most presidents had done in 2 terms, historical things. And I was shocked by what I was seeing.
And Karine, just to clarify, these are other Democrats and Democratic leadership coming out against Biden.
Yep, I had never seen anything like that. That was, if you're asking me, the thing that I saw in those 3 weeks, that was shocking. Shocking. And instead of coming together to really be unified and trying to figure out how do we save our democracy, how do we fight back, that's what I was seeing. And
our sweet apple pie, cinnamon sugar democracy.
You know, that's what we decided to do for 3 weeks. And, you know, it was truly, truly unfortunate. And I think it hurt us more than I think folks realized to have done that.
And I know we're coming. And thank you so much for your question.
Thank you so much for.
Yeah, you just can't make it up. You just can't. You know, just can't make it up. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section, man. Y'all be real with me. You know,
Pierre, the White House secretary on the last couple years of the Biden administration, has announced she's leaving the Democratic Party and is writing a tell-all book. Now, let me tell you guys what's going on here. This is actually what it looks like when the rats are leaving and they're trying to grab a bunch of silverware on the way out. He started with Jake Tapper in his tell-all book, and now this other person who knows the jig is up, knows that no one's going to care about the title of first black lesbian, blah, 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 gay, da, 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 to ever stand up there and lie consistently from a podium to the American people. But they want some type of payout on the way out. So don't buy the book. Listen to the excerpts for the interviews that she's going to be running around like everywhere and doing. So you'll get the point of the book then. We all saw with our own eyes, you know. And the last point I wanted to make was that with what we see with Jake Tapper and CNN, because they're actually talking about it, and MSNBC's even getting mad about them talking about it. But what we're seeing is that because Joe was so old and a lot of the older Democrats are on the way out, they're trying to position themselves for their audience to go, hey, you see, we talked about it when it was relevant to talk about, according to when we told you that it was relevant to talk about it. They don't really care. There's still going to be a propaganda arm of the progressive left or whoever is truly controlling the wheels of power behind the scenes. Don't fall for it. They're just still the same mouthpiece. I know most of you guys aren't because their numbers show that no one's watching. So just a little heads up.
Yeah. That's what people are posting on the internet, you know.
Pretty. I mean, this.
Oh, Scott, let's hear it.
I have a different view. I'd like to congratulate Democrats for ridding yourselves of this untalented mediocrity. I mean, this is the most self-aggrandizing liar that has ever held this job. The White House press secretary is a sacred position, and she stood up there for years and lied through her teeth to the American people.
My friend,
and
she's not the first.
She is the literal worst White House press secretary in my lifetime. And what she did in the last year and a half of the Biden administration, cheap fakes, the entire cover-up around the president's mental faculties, she was in the center of it.
So you think she's doing this to launder herself?
So congratulations for getting rid of this, but Democrats deserve everything they're getting here for putting her in that job in the first place.
You just can't make it up, man. You know? There it is, y'all. She has left the Democrat Party. Got a little book out. You know, everybody, the Patriots was right, you know. It's all gonna play out just like this. We told you, man. What a disgrace, man. What a complete disgrace. Let me know what y'all think of this. I love y'all. God bless y'all and your family. I will catch y'all in the next one, man. They ought to go put this woman in handcuffs. I'm being honest.